Hello guys, welcome back to the Big Screen Show. My name is Victor.
I'm Alex.
And we're back bringing you guys another movie review. This time, I know a movie you've been waiting for a minute, huh, Alex? Michael Mann's Ferrari. What can we say, right? It's Michael Mann's next film. As you were telling me, it's been, 8 years?
Yeah,
since...
8.
Go ahead.
Yeah, 8 years since his 2015 film Black Cat with Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, so... obviously a little bit of an extensive hiatus, but nonetheless he's back working with Adam Driver as the lead, which I'll get into in a second, but really quick I'll say really wowed me. But before we dive deep, let's give our general thoughts about the movie. I'll go first. Honestly, I didn't know what I was expecting for the movie, but I guess I went into it with very few expectations, just really like what it is. I'll take it for what it is type of thing. But after watching it, I have to say it's definitely, I will say this, I wish I could have seen it with subtitles, and I will definitely have to rewatch this again later on once we have it in DVD and on digital to put on some subtitles, because it definitely, with the Italian accents, some of the conversations can get lost in dialogue and just a movie theater where everything is so much louder and everything is kind of fast paced and you're not really able to dissect every single word, and I think it's a very dialogue heavy movie. Yeah. So it's a good movie to want to take in everything that's said for its everything, so that's like my one negative about it, but it's not a fault of the movie, obviously. It's just I'm gonna have to revisit it later on with the subtitles. But apart from that, I thought the movie was really solid. We're looking at life of Enzo Ferrari through the lens of, just like really focused in on him, which I really liked. It was really like following him and seeing like things going on around him and through him. So that was really good, where he felt like the actual center of the movie, where some of these movies can sometimes add in some other characters where they kind of feel like they're taking too much of the limelight to our main character. So I like the fact that that was not the case with this. Adam Driver, wow, in my opinion, it's his best role that I've seen him in. I'm not saying it's my favorite or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, him as an actor and actually acting within the body of a character, I think this was, like, the best that I've seen him in that sense. I really, really do. And some great supporting cast, and I think the plot could have been maybe a little bit more, I guess, dynamic in the sense that it has a little bit more excitement, but for what it is, I enjoyed it, and overall I give this movie a 7 out of 10. Really enjoyable. Would definitely recommend to somebody. It's obviously well made. That's the best thing about it. One of the best things about it. The quality of the production is obviously high, with Michael Mann being at the head of it all. But yeah, 7 out of 10 for me. What about you?
For me, speaking as a Michael Mann fan who has seen like most of his films, I didn't know what I was expecting going into the movie Ferrari, but all I did know going in was that the movie was going to be good, and it was.
Right.
The acting performances alone by Adam Driver as Enzo Ferrari and his co-star Penelope Cruz playing Laura Ferrari in the movie, they both gave such amazing performances. Also giving much more kind of a complicated situation within their marriage, while embodying their marriage like what it was like in real life for the Ferrari family. Then I'll say, yeah, it is dialogue heavy for this film, especially with meant to be an Italian family and everything like that. But it wasn't too bad. I still got to understand most of it. But yeah, I do think it would be more better for understanding it when we actually go back to rewatch it with subtitles.
Yeah.
But all in all, the story was still pretty much engaging, because and still, it was dynamic in a way as we're going through like the day-to-day life, both personal and business life for Enzo Ferrari, and seeing how he is on different sides of it. On his personal life, it's kind of a mixed bag, makes it messed up. But that's kind of like someone who's this huge businessman in like car and like one of the greatest car brands like ever.
Right.
It's crazy to see how like interesting his whole personal life was, but but then on his work life, he's like all focused, all in, logical, cold, efficient, on it.
He ain't playing games.
No, he don't play games. He's in it to win it.
Yeah.
He's like his major point in one really good scene with Adam Driver for this thing.
Oh, the monologue
at
the table?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was definitely, that stands out for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, the movie does a really good job for going through the life of Enzo Ferrari and these specific moments in his life. It's never anything that's like critical, but I think that's really good for this type of film where it doesn't have to like just go like have to like fast forward to like everything. It's just like because I think this movie took place only within like just a few couple of days, which I think was actually might be a good first for a movie like this as a biography film.
I think it probably like a month or two though because they did go through two races and I feel like
Oh
they
yeah,
kind of, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I feel like there's a
right.
little bit of time within that, but you're right. It wasn't like over years or over, you know, an extended amount of time like it usually is with movies like this. It was definitely like just capturing the essence of just a chapter of his life, if you will. Not even, maybe just like a part of a chapter, really, because it was definitely like just a small section of it all and just kind of capturing it all and just kind of as I took it, is just kind of seeing like, hey, this is a little glimpse in his life, and pretty much this is the gist of it all.
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah, you're right because it pretty much is like really just the movie really is just a focus of like Enzo Ferrari as a person, which got done with Larry just within like the time span of like you said a few months instead of having to like just go over like from his beginning, middle, all the way to his end, which again is probably a good first for a biopic like this, which I find very refreshing.
Yeah, and it did do justice with some background story. It just did it in a very quick and efficient way with some quick flashbacks and kind of filling up the holes in the story with things that happened in his past, but not in a way where it's drawn out or needs to spend a lot of time in it. It's just quick scenes that just kind of answer your questions if you know what I mean.
It just gives you enough without having to be like overly detailed, over explained.
Exactly.
Which is very good because the way it was done for the flashback scene.
It's efficient.
Like yeah, exactly, just like that.
Yeah.
Bono, yeah, it does a really good job for going through like Enzo Ferrari's life, and especially going more emphasis on like the real consequences of like being a race car driver. Because even though it seems it's all flashy, you get money, you get women, and it's like flashy, but in the end, it is really like a life or death situation, really, because you're driving these cars that are being tested and trying to get pushed to the limit to break speeds and trying to find getting their racers to like to want to win, find that momentum, find that one good point, try and get past the other racer, and whether you live or you die, it's a risk, but you do what you have to take to win. It also kind of shows the cold determination of Ferrari as he was a former racer and what that brings into him as like the owner of his company and how he wants to like build the cars for racing.
Definitely.
But all in all, for me, I'm gonna give this movie a solid 8 out of 10 because great acting performances, a really good exploration of like the race car business and life of a famous person in charge of that kind of help pave the way for it, as well as pretty good, efficient, good storytelling that doesn't go for like the regular biopic type formula circumstances in the usual way.
Yeah, yeah. It definitely leaves the cliches out of it when it comes to biopics. So that's good. It's refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Solid. So 8?
Yeah.
8. 8 it is. So yeah. We both recommend it. Definitely. It's a solid movie. Definitely worth the watch. If you want to go see it in theaters, it's approved by us if that opinion matters at all.
Especially if you're a Michael Mann film.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, come on.
Because as I heard, it's better than his last movie, as you were telling me.
Yeah, Black Cat with Chris Hemsworth. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it's definitely not Michael Mann's like best. It's like very bottom tier.
Right. So, worth a watch, definitely. But we're gonna dive deeper and talk about some spoiler territory. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, this is your point where you click off the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you don't know how things work around here, we try to bring you guys videos at least once a week, sometimes more, like probably soon because there's so much content coming out. So we're trying to bring you guys more videos. So there'll probably be more than one video a week. And if you like that kind of stuff, please consider subscribing because it would really mean a lot to us and definitely help grow the channel, and we would love for you guys to join us on this journey. And if you like this video, the best way to let us know is by hitting that thumbs up button on there because it really does, again, help us out. Now, with that being said, moving forward, one thing about this movie I have to point out, in a small way, obviously, like we just said, basically the thesis or the arc of the plot really is, looking through Enzo Ferrari's life and in that time frame where, you know, at home life and business life and kind of how he handled both sides, with at home life being super messy with him having a mistress and a wife, and obviously the business side of it where he just wants to win, like you said, and have the best car and all these things, right? But underlining thing, the mistress in this movie, Shailene Woodley, I love her personally. She was in Fault in Our Stars, and that was my introduction to her. She was also in Dumb Money, by the way.
Oh yeah, but also
she was like the wife or girlfriend of the, you know, the GameStop
yeah,
guard
the
or whatever.
wife.
Yeah, the wife, right? And she was also in a movie I saw called Fallout, which is a HBO Max exclusive. But I love her to death. I think she just has such a way with the camera, and I didn't know she was in this movie, or maybe I did, but I just like forgot it. But when I saw her on screen, I was like, yes, and I think she did a great job. I really do. So I really just want to highlight that because I'm really excited about the fact that she's in this movie, and I'm so happy for her that she's in a Michael Mann film. Like, that's huge. But moving forward to something bigger that I want to talk about, Adam Driver's performance. Please, can we talk about it? Because for me, you know, out of all the things I might have been like or iffy about while watching the film, one thing was never Adam Driver's performance. Never. I mean, I really have not seen him like in other roles. I like believe him to be the character he's playing, but I'm also like, hey, that's Adam Driver. Where with this, I was like, wow. I truly was floored with his performance. I really was. Like, I was like, holy cow. I mean, that's Enzo Ferrari, especially with him playing that, you know, that duality of the at-home life and the at-business life where he's like cold, like a killer basically at work, and then at home he's like kind of a mess, really. Honestly, and just playing that and like having his emotional and honestly having to see him kind of cope with both of them at the same time. I don't know. I want to get your thoughts on his performance, because to me, truly, I think it is such a feat. And I don't know if this movie is up for nominations or is in the, you know, in that time frame where it's up for nominations for this coming batch of awards or the one after that in the following year, but whichever one it is, I would really like to see him nominated for something, because, wow, I was really that impressed. I really was.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Yeah, he actually, honestly, I'll put his performance here and probably in my top 5 performances of his career that he's done so far, because I think he did truly embody, like, Enzo Ferrari's competitive spirit when it comes to him trying to do business with making race cars, trying to get, like, his cars, like, peak performance-wise. Cause showing how, like, even when he's talking about to the press, when things go wrong with his car and stuff, he basically says, okay, yeah, come at me. I don't care. Plus, if you come at me, hey, you're out of here. He basically challenged it every single turn. Yeah. But then we get to see his more sensitive side when he's at home, where he's kind of, like, free from the rest of the stress or anything like that when he's with, like, his mistress Lisa. But then kind of has to deal with a bit of stress and tension with his wife at home, because, like, not only is she, like, his wife, but she's also his source of, like, money, and also his business partner as well.
Right.
But since their marriage has kind of been, like, really on the outs, but they still do pretty good business together, where he focuses on, like, the cars and function, where she handles the money. They're actually surprisingly a pretty good team, but their marriage and personal relationship with each other is just a bit broken beyond repair.
Right. Yeah, and one thing I have to say, the voice, you know, like, there's a certain type of voice it takes to have this role. That Italian accent that he's doing with it. It's low, it's gritty, it's rough around the edges. Plus, as you mentioned, the accent add on top of it, because obviously he does not have that accent, you know. So I think I could talk for literally like 3 hours about his performance. I really do think it was something special. I really do. It definitely, when I look back at 2023 and like performances, it really will stand out for me. It really is. I was really floored by his performance. I really have to say, that's the one takeaway for me. If anything, go watch it just for his performance alone, because I think it is remarkable. I really do.
Oh yeah, but let's not leave out Penelope Cruz, who's playing Laura Ferrari.
And such a weird role for her, right? It's different, not weird. It's different.
Yeah, it's true.
But she killed it.
Oh yeah, she did a phenomenal job, because like seriously, I feel like she's literally up there with Emily Blunt as from her role as Kitty from
Oppenheimer.
Like, it's like right up there, because Penelope Cruz
plays a similar
Yeah, because they do not play into like the regular biopic formula where like it's just like the loving, supporting wife who like is the person's like comfort and everything. But no, she's like literally someone who's like his Ferrari's equal and puts him in his place when he needs to. And it also shows that she's in control just as much as he is because like she's literally the source of the money and part of a major thing that he was doing for like a major car deal for his business. But she's also able to handle everything in a way where like in another biopic or some way, you kind of predict how she's gonna do things. But in this one, she does the exact opposite, right? Even when she's like facing with the realization that Ferrari has a mistress and a kid with that mistress who has a chance of like being his next legacy. Since this is like because like the movie took place in 1957, but literally Laura and Enzo literally had their son die a year ago, and so the pain is still fresh. And when she realizes this, she could like literally do like anything to like damage his business, damage his deal, everything. But she does the responsible thing to carry on with the business that they've built for so many years together, and as a good memory to her son that she should do the right thing and continue this business despite probably really hating Enzo for keeping the secret for so long.
Definitely.
And using their money to hide his mistress from her.
Right.
Especially since like literally everyone that Enzo works with, or even I think even some people in the press or like parts of where they're at in Italy know about it. I mean, and yet she doesn't. I mean, even Enzo's mother, who lived in the exact same house as Laura, knows about it, and she never told her a thing. Yeah. There's like literally so many reasons for her to not want to help Enzo with his business, but she literally does like the most strong and rightful thing and right and just thing to do. I mean, that performance alone in the emotional moments where she's breaking down but still keeps strong is like. That's like Oscar worthy right there alone, right up there with Emily Blunt being like the major strong character and not like the regular like wife stays at home with like the kids and supports the main character type thing.
Yeah, it's always a really hard role to step foot in when you're like having to have absolute heartbreak at its rawest, strongest, most sensitive form, but also having to be the strongest person in the household, so to speak, at the same time. So whenever an actress steps into that role and they do it well, it's like commendable, because it's hard. If in general, and you would think, and obviously it is, and you could really see that rawness in her performance. So I agree with you, every single word. She killed it. She really did. I think, just I'm at a loss for words for both Penelope's and Adam's performance. It was really, if anything, like I said, go watch the movie for those performances because truly, I have a feeling their names with the roles in this specific movie will be coming up in awards season at some point, whether it's, I don't know how it works, whether it's the time frame for the ones coming up or the ones after. I just have a feeling because they killed it,
Yes.
Moving forward, I mean, just to wrap up quickly, I think, what were your thoughts on the technical side of this? I thought he did some great stuff with shallow depth of field and longer lenses, and like the color grading came from like, did you see it kind of gradually change over time from like a more standard tone and color to a more vibrant color once the final race came around?
Oh yeah, especially.
Did you notice that?
Oh yeah, and there's actually that one shot where like Enzo and Laura are like together, and then they do this close up shot where it feels like a low degrade in saturation and color, where it's like literally Adam Driver's Enzo literally up against like the windshield, and he's just looking out the window in that dramatic.
Last conversation.
Yeah. I mean, you noticed that? That was really good. He just fit the aesthetic so well, and artsy feel.
And the change of the depth of field there, where at one point, Enzo is in focus, and then he turns around, and then she's in focus, and he's all blurry, and just that playing with that is there was a lot of that in this movie, and I think it was done really, really well. There was also a lot of, I don't even know how to explain them, but there were a lot of, like I've told you, explained to you about the rules of thirds. He used that a bunch in this, and I thought that was great. The way he filmed the final race was sick, with the top-down shots and coming down across the hills, and he it almost made it. he almost made it look like he put the camera on the ground and let the cars drive past it. Did you see that one shot? I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, especially since that scene where you're talking with the camera they're talking about, it was literally done in like a really surprising dark scene that none of us could have expected was going to happen.
Right. So, we could probably talk about it for so much longer, but in summary, the camera work and the color grading and the cinematography and the decisions that were made were really, I think, top notch in this movie. Honestly, I think it definitely drove the movie even further past the storytelling that was already being told through the script itself.
Oh yeah, plus that's Michael Mann's specialty right there with these use of saturation and colors, but also these good wide shots and also these close angle shots to really give off a feel of his environment. Because oftentimes when you see his movies, you get that feeling that you're talking about, but he has a greater enhancement to it, where like has these like emits like this weird vibe where you can't help but love it and you can't really explain it half the time. Mm-hmm. That's actually something that he did in some of his movies, like the movie Manhunter, the Miami Vice movie. I mean, even bits of the movie Collateral with Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise.
Definitely. So yeah, that's his thing, and he killed it once again. Simply put. So yeah, overall thoughts, plot, or performances, 2 thumbs up, 3, 4, 5 thumbs up, if anything. Technical side of things, same. And anything else?
Well, I will say, since after this, I'm very excited for when Michael Mann actually makes his sequel to Heat called Heat 2.
Is he gonna do that?
Oh yeah, but even been talks about how Adam Driver is expected to be recruited to actually play Robert De Niro's character, but younger version. And the thing is, Michael Mann literally wrote a book about the Heat sequel, which is actually a prequel to the characters from the first Heat movie back in their younger days, starting out. Okay. And so, like, if that's actually still coming, oh my god! And with how digital technology and movie making has done, and its use for practicality and effects, my god, this movie is gonna be just as good, if not better, than the first Heat movie, if that's even possible. Because that's still a masterpiece of film right there.
Definitely. It'd be hard to top it, but
I believe he could do it.
Yeah. Especially with I agree. That's exciting. That's like official.
Oh yeah, that's been talked about for a long while.
That's sick. That must have slept under my radar, but that's sick. I'm excited for that. Heck yeah. I don't really have much to say. We pretty much covered it all. I think really, if you want to see some stellar performances, go watch this movie. Some stellar camera work and all the technical sides and all the nerdy stuff of filmmaking is definitely present here in this movie. And it's Michael Mann. Like what? Like go see it. Like it's gonna be good, right? So. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, well, that's gonna do it for us, guys. Ferrari, Michael Mann, go see it in theaters. Just came out. We actually got to see an early screening on a Wednesday, which is really exciting in Dolby. But if you get a chance to see it whenever this weekend or whenever you are able to, definitely go watch it. But if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please consider subscribing because it really would help us out. We try to bring you guys videos like this at least once a week, sometimes more, and just bring you guys more content like the ones in this video and bring you guys, we love Hollywood and stuff like this, so please consider subscribing if you haven't yet. It really does help us out. And if you like this video, the best way to let us know is by hitting that thumbs up button down there because again, it really does help us out. This is the Big Screen Show. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.